Hey, I'm Lori with 3D Printed Dragonfly, and I just thought I would do a little update video on how my little 3D printing farm is going. It's been about a month now. I launched my Etsy shop for 3D printing in the first week of January. I had my first sale January 6th. So I'm recording this on February, I think it's February 9th, Sunday? Whatever the Super Bowl it was, that's when I'm recording this. So anyway, things have gone pretty well. I've had a few ups and downs, as kind of expected. You know, I with any new business venture, you're going to have ups and downs. You're going to have surprises. You're going to have things crop up that you didn't expect. I'm still not real comfortable in front of the camera, but I'm going to try to do at least one video a week, and hopefully I'll get better at it. You know, you gotta do it until you get good at it. Anyway, I had my first sale January 6th, and as of today, I've done just under $1,300 in sales, which is a lot and not a lot at the same time. You know, I mean, I haven't really pushed or promoted the shop all that much yet, mainly because I wanted to make sure I could keep up with production. And as of today, I'm actually 4 days ahead of deadlines, so that's a good thing. You can probably hear the printers going in the background, so I apologize. I'm in my art studio where my two new printers are located. So yeah, I did about $1,300 in sales. If I look at that as just cost of goods, if I just subtract the cost of making those products that I sold along with shipping and fees, I've made a profit. But if I take into account buying 2 new printers, if I take into account all the filament I have bought to keep on hand in order to fulfill orders, and especially if I take into account my time-wise, I'm not at profit level yet. I probably will be in a couple of months, especially if sales keep up, which so far I'm getting rather consistent sales, so that's good. And now that I know I can keep up with production, partially in part to buying those 2 new printers, I'm going to promote more and advertise more and probably generate more sales. I also do have one of the items listed on eBay, and I've gotten some sales there. I haven't listed the other items on there yet. I probably will this coming week. I also just got approved to sell on Walmart.com, which I'm thinking, since I sell Miniverse accessories and they sell Miniverse, I might do well on there. I'm going to see how it goes. So just to take a step back for a minute and kind of summarize where I am right now. I started this venture when I had 3 3D printers. My original Ender 3, which still has an issue right now I'm resolving, but it's the slowest and the smallest of my printers, and the oldest. It's about from 2017. And I had 2 CR6 SE printers, which are circa 2020. So they're all older printers. I bought a third CR6 SE from somebody on Facebook Marketplace and kind of fell into getting a CR10S Pro at the same time. But again, they were all older printers and slow. The most I can print on them is about 40 to 60 millimeters per second, which means this piece, which was my first piece I launched for sale, my bookcase, my Miniverse bookcase, on the CR6 takes 23 hours to print. So keeping up with production, even trying to build in some production time into my Etsy listings, you know, I state in order for me to order, and they print, I think, within 5 to 6 days. Is how I listed them. I was concerned. I didn't think I was going to be able to keep up, especially when I got a bunch of orders all at one time. So Creality actually had a sale on a newer, faster printer. So I ended up getting an Ender 3 V3 Plus, which is the same, almost the same print size as the CR10 that I got used, but it has the bigger build volume, so I can actually print multiples. I can print, on my CR6, I can only print these one at a time. I can print them 2 at a time on my newer printers. The new printer is also so much faster that one of these only takes 7 hours to print. It takes, so in 23 hours versus 7 hours, the new printer was definitely worth it. In fact, they still had them on sale, so I got a second one last week, actually just a few days ago. So now I have 2 of the newer printers. And they helped me catch up on my existing orders. And I'm more confident now that I'll be able to keep up with production times. So I'm going to be promoting them more this week. So the new printers are definitely helpful. Also, if I take into account my time for designing and developing the products, then I definitely have not made a profit yet. But I'm not actually counting that because a big chunk of it was the learning process. Even though I've done 3D animation and done printing, I've done 3D animation on and off now for like 30 years, but I've done 3D printing on and off for like 7 years. Both were more of a hobby than they were an actual business venture. Up till now, I've done commissioned work for 3D prints. I did a number of dice towers and things like that, but they were always up using other people's designs and other people's files, which is fine, but I really, really wanted to develop my own products. And when I got my first 3D printer, my plan actually was to use it to prototype something that I would then cast and or mold and then cast in plaster. And those products have yet to actually happen. Hopefully they will at some point. But when I fell in love with the Harry Potter Miniverse sets, that's when I realized, hey, wait a minute, I could use my 3D printer to create a display. And then when I showed it in some of the Miniverse groups I'm in, everybody went ballistic for it and wanted to buy them, which I didn't even think about when I first designed them. I designed them just as a display for me. But I realized that this could be a business, which is when I launched the print farm. Modeling for animation is a lot different than modeling for 3D printing. There's a lot of other things you have to take into account. There are more variables when you're printing something. You know, you can hide imperfections in a 3D model and in an animation. You can't do that in a 3D model. So like this little display case, this is actually like version 8 from designing it different ways, and it took me probably about 2 months on and off to get all the pieces made in my 3D program, which I use Lightwave 3D just because I've always used Lightwave 3D, so I'm used to it. But I was never really a heavy modeler. My ex-partner was the one who did more modeling than I did. I did more lighting and coloring and animating, and he did more modeling. So it's been a process of teaching myself how to approach a design and how to actually make it work in 3D. And then from there, just testing things and printing things and making sure they print well. You know, I always say 3D printing is like 1 part art, 1 part science, and 2 parts frustration, because you do mess up. Like I said, this was version like 8. This was actually my first test print of it, which I realized was too big, so I had to scale it down. So, yeah, it worked. It proved the concept, but then I had to make it actually the right scale for the Harry Potter set. So, yeah, like I said, if I counted in my time for doing all this, then I'm definitely not at profit level yet. But 3D printing Dragonfly is really a side business for me. My main business is e-commerce stores, which I've done for 24 years now. That's my main bread and butter and my main income. But I really, I've always been an artist. I've always loved creating things. I've always loved doing miniatures too. So this Miniverse, discovering Miniverse was like the perfect fit for me. And I really wanted to do more creative things. So I started making jewelry. I do wire wrapping and I do metalsmithing. I do dabble with print on demand, doing t-shirts and pattern shirts like this one and different things. And metal signs is something that I'm working on. Yep. There we go. He's back there. The dragon is one of my first house signs that I am designing. And I love being creative, and I wanted to be more and more creative. And 3D printing is a great way to do that. It's so cool being able to do something in the computer that doesn't exist and then see it come to fruition. You know, I mean, it's amazing being able to then hold it and use it. So, yeah, I just love the creative aspect of it, which is why I knew I wanted to make money with 3D printing, but I couldn't quite figure out how I wanted to do it, because I really didn't want to do the flexible dragons and the little flexy animals and everything else that so many people do. And don't get me wrong, they're cute, they're adorable, but everybody's doing it. It's oversaturated. I wanted to do something that was not that oversaturated, something different, something unique, something fun, something that fits me. You know, I'm a nerd. So Harry Potter, I've loved Harry Potter since the first movie came out. It took me this long, 7 years actually, to come up with a product idea that I liked, that I felt comfortable selling. And I really, really, really enjoy designing things for this miniverse. And I've gotten a few of the other miniverse sets beyond Harry Potter now, and probably wind up with a lot more of them because they're just all so adorable. And I am going to do things other than miniverse. I am planning a bunch of different projects. Now that I'm getting better at 3D modeling, it shouldn't take me as long. I actually designed a variation of a different top case for this one. That I haven't printed yet, but I actually designed an alternate case top that this one took me hours and hours to make. The alternate version of it took me about 20 minutes to make in 3D. So, yeah, my modeling skills are definitely improving. As far as printers, I have my original 5 printers, plus the 2 new ones. So my print farm is actually now 7. I'm in the process of setting up the other room, the room across the hall, to be my print farm. I am going to keep 1 or 2 printers in here in my art studio. I'm not sure. I'm still debating that. I just got a new rack for the print farm, so I won't have to have my printers on a flimsy folding table anymore, which will be nice. So I'm probably going to take this next week now that I am caught up with orders. And I have my faster printers in here. I'm probably going to take about the next week to get that room a little bit more in order. It's still going to be a mess on one side. But my print area hopefully will be a little bit better, a little bit more organized. And I'll probably start filming more videos in there and showing more of the process. Like I said, if I counted all the hours I have into these projects and into just these 4 pieces for the Harry Potter Honeydew set, I wouldn't make a profit for a year. But I'm counting them more as learning and development time than I am, in general, than I am for this particular project. So just looking at the cost of manufacturing them, the cost of shipping, the Etsy fees, etc., I'm considering it a win. I'm considering it a profit. Hopefully I will keep getting more orders. I'll keep expanding the line. I'm going to add some other items. I'm going to also add some home decor items. which I actually am revisiting a project I tried to create many years ago, probably around 2021 or 2022, and I just could not get it correct in the 3D modeling program so that it printed as well as I wanted it to. And I think now, with the more experience under my belt, I think I can do it. So hopefully you'll see some little display shelves and other things, not just for Miniverse, be added to the shop soon. I want to thank you guys for the kind words that I've seen. I have started a 3D Printing Dragonfly Facebook page, which will have more about this crazy journey as I develop more 3D printing, or 3D printable products, I should say. I may also add some products that other people designed, but for the most part, I really want to keep to my original designs. I'll see how it goes. So yeah, 1 month in, I have learned quite a bit, especially about my printers. I said my CRSCs are still great printers. They still work great, but I have had more problems with them. Trying to print as much as I did the last month on them, they're just slow. They're not as reliable as these new Ender 3s are, which doesn't surprise me because it's a newer technology. You know, the Ender 3 V3 Plus came out, I think, last year, 2024. My other printers are from 4 years ago. So yeah, the technology has definitely improved. I'm still going to be utilizing all my printers so I can keep up with production. There are some things that those do great, and my smaller pieces that don't take as long to print, I will probably be printing on those. And then keep the bigger, faster printers for the bigger items. Like I said, I can print the bookcases instead of printing one at a time in 23 hours. I can print two at a time in, like, I think the two at a time takes about 12 hours, something like that, on the new printers. And as I further tweak and improve the process, I may be able to get that time down a little bit more. Also am planning sometime in the next 6 months to probably add a few more printers to the print farm, a few more of the newer printers. Creality has a couple of new printers coming out that I really, really have my eye on. The Ender 5 Max, that is, I think, out as of today, or as of tomorrow, actually. And then they also have a color printer, the Color High, that I have my eye on to do multicolor work. Because right now I don't really have a big need for multicolor, but there are a couple projects I thought of that would be a lot easier to print in multicolor. The checkerboard floor panels that I released for this series, or for Miniverse displays or Dollhouse displays, would be nice to be able to print in like black and white checkerboard, so that you don't have to paint it, or to print in multiple colors. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Right now, probably in the next few months, I will be adding more products. Maybe another printer or two. I don't know. I'll see. I was going to do an unboxing and setup video of the E3 V3 Plus, but I realized I really don't have a space to film that sort of thing yet. As I rearrange the rooms a little bit, as I straighten things up, as I get things a little bit stowed away more, I should be able to do that kind of thing more. If any printer companies want to send me printers, I'll be happy. I'd be very, very happy to test them out. I approach 3D printing more as an art and more as a tool for art. I'm not super into electronics or the technical aspects as much as I am as to what they can do and what they can create from an artistic point of view. So I don't know if I don't know. I think that's a little bit different than some of the 3D printer people that I see on YouTube, because a lot of them approach it more as a technical aspects, and they try to speed up the printers and run them through their paces and all that. And for me, it's more about the art. It's more about using it as another tool in my art studio. You know, same thing as my butane torch for making jewelry, or my airbrush. You know, all things. It's another tool that I can use to create what I envision, and that's to me is the important part of 3D printing. That's the fun part of 3D printing. Making it a business has been long coming, but I truly appreciate your support. If you want to follow this path of a crazy 62-year-old woman exploring 3D printing as a business, subscribe and follow below. I will also have links below to my blog, loriannbrown.com, which goes into all kinds of things I do, not just 3D printing. My Facebook page is 3D Printing Dragonfly on Facebook. And of course this YouTube channel, which has not just nothing with 3D printing, but jewelry making and other artistic endeavors. And hopefully I'm also planning to do some tutorials and other things as I get more comfortable doing them, as I figure out how to do them. And yeah, that's probably about the finish of this update. So yeah, I look forward to seeing where this leads and how far I can take this. And maybe, who knows, maybe by this time next year I'll be saying I made $1 million 3D printing. I doubt it. But you know, you never know until you try something, right? So thanks for joining me, and have a wonderful day.